Police say right here, this is where the victims were shot near the walkway at the back of Wow Hall. The Ukraine flag flies high in Springfield as the country's capital is under siege. Police found Thaddeus Zemlak in this area of Veneta right along Highway 126. LCSO told me they believe he was trying to hitchhike. That's when a driver recognized him and called 911. These four walls are going up right where Chief Plu's home burnt down just 1 year ago, as she was out fighting the very fire that uprooted her whole life. That number is up 11.7% over last year, which is concerning because wages are not increasing at the same rate. Filling up a jug of water is not how you'd expect to get your drinking water, but that's the reality for the residents of Mapleton. The river, but falling off is also common, so it's important to know how to handle it if you do. Alan, every officer is assigned their own body camera. It kind of resembles a GoPro. Same idea, same size. 3 people were shot and killed Tuesday night up Highway 36, just about a half a mile up the road from where I am. And then early Wednesday morning, police found that suspect up Deadwood Creek Road. John, this was a very different scene this morning at 4 a.m. The structure right behind me was fully up in flames. Right now, fire officials are inside. They're investigating to find out where exactly the fire started. Brandon Jacqueline, like you said, $800 a night for a hotel here in Eugene. That's pretty pricey and really not doable for many travelers. This street was full of people Saturday night as police officers responded to a party at this house. Today, I spoke to a man who lives across the street. He watched the scene unfold from his balcony and described it as pure chaos. Rising costs are hitting almost every aisle at the grocery store. Consumers now paying more for their favorite snacks and go-to items. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. We're just halfway through our day here at Fred Meyer in Roseburg. Now, I want to show you guys this. A giant jar of pickles. Some of these things you guys are donating are absolutely shocking me. As the crisis in Ukraine shocks the country, I spoke to one University of Oregon student who grew up there. Now, he still has deep connections and concerns for his home country.
I feel extremely angry and I feel really powerless and I feel devastated. He started the war in the land I grew up in. He went into war against my people. It's really hard to watch. Devastation
strikes as people watch what's unfolding in Ukraine. Onyesko told me he studied undergrad in Kyiv, and it was hard to see a video of missiles hitting his city.
I feel terrible for not being able to protect it. Please do something for my family, for my relatives, for my friends.
This is Irina Volnets. She came to America to get her PhD from the University of Oregon. Her father and sister still in Ukraine.
I keep talking to them since the early morning. I think it's the biggest nightmare to understand that your country and your family wakes up at 5 a.m. in the morning and realizing that it's a war.
And Yevgeny Leshenko also grew up in Ukraine. Now he works for the University of Oregon.
I'm heartbroken. It's like all my friends are there. Basically all extended family is there.
These three getting through the day uneasy and anxious. Leshenko tells me his wife is Russian.
This mixed feelings of sadness, right? Because most of people in Russia don't support that.
As for what's next, the three said Ukraine needs more than just thoughts and prayers. Onyesko tells me he wants to see the strongest of sanctions on Russia and military help from the U.S. I spoke with Senator Ron Wyden about America's response.
I'm committed to having the very toughest economic sanctions that hit Vladimir Putin and his oligarch buddies in their wallet.
Wyden says he will continue to push strong sanctions on Putin. Reporting in Eugene, I'm Keely McCormick.
Right hook, left hook, right hook, left hook, right hook.
I'm here at Northwest Martial Arts learning some basic self-defense tips that could help keep you safe on the streets. This is Tyler Pasqua, a black belt instructor at Northwest Martial Arts. While we can't all have black belts, Pasqua showed me how the average person can get out of a dangerous situation. Stop, back up. If you're ever attacked or grabbed on the street, you are supposed to fight back.
So somebody's coming up to you, hit them with the eye slap. Bang, that's it.
Okay. The eye slap and a knee to the groin. Pasqua says those are two of the most effective moves in fighting back. Ultimately, the goal is to get away to safety and call 911. So how to escape if someone grabs your wrist? There are two tactics.
So I can either go like that.
Twist your hand and pull with force. Or you circle your hand up and over the attacker's thumb.
Yeah, see?
Okay.
It's difficult to hold.
And what if someone is grabbed from behind? The first step is to lower your center of gravity.
So you're gonna lower, and then you're just gonna kind of
Push out.
separate and use the hips to separate the grip.
I also checked in with the Eugene Police Department. They say during any attack, it's important to be loud.
Making noise is a good idea. There are personal safety devices.
Blonde suggests carrying something like this. It's harmless, easy to use, and can bring attention to the situation. The main takeaway is to remember, if you are attacked, fight back and aim at the eyes or the groin. Make as much noise as possible and get away so you can call 911. Reporting in Eugene, I'm Keely McCormick. The community of Junction City is still mourning after 3 women were killed in a tragic car accident along this stretch of Highway 99. Today, I spoke to a relative who described the call from police that nobody ever wants to receive.
And I just was thinking the worst. And I said, oh my God, please tell me. And then they said, well, she had died in a terrible car accident. And then there was a few minutes in between. And then they said, do you know Lynette Taylor? And I said, oh my God. They said, yes, I'm sorry, she went too.
Shalene Parrish, Lynette Taylor, and Brittany Taylor all died in a head-on collision with a log truck.
God, just so quickly.
Lynette was Brittany's mother, and Sean Taylor's Brittany's father and Lynette's ex-husband. Sean told me he knew Lynette since he was just 14 years old, and despite the divorce, they were good friends.
And she really picked up where I couldn't, and I love her to death for that. She was a wonderful mom.
Now, friends and family are trying to recover from such a major loss.
And it was definitely a shock to know that both of them, both Lynette and her daughter and Shalene, are gone. I mean, it was like I would never see them again.
Lynette and Brittany were living out of their car. Sean told me the two had worked hard to find housing. Brittany and Lynette were supposed to move out of the car and into a home a few days after that crash. Sean said it was going to be a new chapter. He was proud and excited for them to have a place to call home.
Knew we were going to do all of these things together, and then they're gone.
Lynette had 5 children, and Brittany was survived by 4 children. Brittany's sister and Lynette's daughter reached out to me. She described the two as warriors. She told me her big sister loved the stars and her mother loved the ocean. Now the family binding together to find peace.
You never realize how much somebody was loved until something like this happens. And I mean, the friends, the family, just the multitude, they're going to be missed. It's very difficult.
Sean told me everyone deserves to know they were wonderful people with good hearts. Reporting in Junction City, I'm Keely McCormick.